Oh, this time for good. So once again, let me repeat it in case somebody didn't get it, because we've been disconnected for a couple of times. So there's been a request from the viewers to check Eric Rosen's game, as already said. He's a well-known personality in chess, content creator online, both on Twitch and YouTube. And we have his game. So that's what we have on the screen, and I'll try to find him. Okay.
In the playing hall, but we're going to try to look for Eric. Maybe you could also, dear viewers, help us find him.
Right.
If you see him somewhere.
So maybe Angelico, do you have any impressions about, while I'm trying to find him, what's happening on the board?
Okay, so we have the Catalan with a trade on d5. Okay, let's try to see. I think that's him actually.
In front of us.
Yes, just in. No, not so sure.
Could be. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, I saw Eric in the morning. I said thank you for a couple of raids he did to the channel. It was very kind, of course, and we chatted a bit. But I don't recall what he was wearing. Is that board number 17?
But maybe he's sitting on the other side, like to the right. Like if you go to the right, not to
Like,
the
let's
left.
be detectives.
But you're going left now. I think he's on the right, no?
On the right. I thought he's straightforward with the light jacket, no? Maybe that's not him, because he's playing against Indian player. Maybe no.
I think because there is another row of the boards. Maybe he's on the other row.
I wish I could find him.
Yeah, here. I think on the other.
Can you tell who is playing next to Rosen, the next boards?
Actually, Irene is playing near him.
And more?
Board 16.
16. One board before him. Then I think it is him. Because that's Irene, right? Right now, where the players sat down. Or that's number 70. Really difficult to tell from this point. Yeah, we are trying.
Yes, that's I think Irene is on the top right, yeah.
Yeah, Irene is top right, and I don't think that.
And right after her is sitting Eric. Can we put up or?
You think that's Eric?
Yeah, no.
Let me see how far I can zoom in.
Yeah, it's Eric.
Yeah, because I have a smaller screen.
Yeah, now down and on the.
I'm trying. It's just not very
on the
responsive.
right. Going to the right. I'm going to the right now.
To the right?
Yes, because you're not seeing them right now.
I thought you're pointing at this.
No, here, this is Irene, you see, and near her is Eric. This now you can see them in light.
Where?
On the right side, do you see? With white pieces. Orange jacket is the opponent of Irene, and then near next board is Eric.
And why I'm not seeing him?
In the white T-shirt. Near the window.
Oh, I mean, I'm so sorry. I was looking at that wrong. Okay, I got it. No, I thought Irene is sitting in the different.
No.
You got it. Okay, you got it. I was
We found them.
I'm so confused. Where is Eric? Okay, this camera is not really equipped with a joystick. I can easily move.
Maybe we can zoom in. Try to zoom in. Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I think. Now I am 100% sure. Before I was not sure, but yeah, this is Irene. We can see. on the board 16, playing against Marco Materia. And near her, we can see Eric Rosen.
Oh my goodness, it took me something like 5 minutes to find them.
Oh no, too much.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like
lags. There's nothing I can do about it. It's like I'm controlling a joystick and the command is executed in Mars. It's lagging and I've executed the command and it comes back, like 3 seconds later.
Yeah, it looks good now. I think
Maybe slightly.
we can see the board of Irene Batter, of course, but still, it's good to have also Eric there.
Perfect.
Yeah. We can find anyone, basically. If we know how they look like, we can find them. So,
As long as
okay.
Irene doesn't move. Okay. Now it moves back again. So, by the way, speaking about Eric, we wanted to follow his game also for another reason. It's not only because he's a well-known content creator, famous tea drinker, as he says on his Twitter channel. I kept asking him actually about his favorite tea preferences. I'm more a coffee guy. But he's also creating some recaps. Because I'm not sure if right now Eric Rosen is streaming. I mean, obviously he can't stream himself. Somebody could do it for him and do the comment. He's making these amazing recaps of his experience here in Biel, how he plays, how it feels. Also, they are available on the official website of Biel Chess Festival. I checked this morning, it's still there, right? It's a separate section. So check it out, of course. I mean, and also don't forget to give him a follow. Also, Irene is also a streamer and a content creator. So it's really nice to see them here because I do believe that streamers are partly responsible for the chess boom. They popularize chess. They make it more available to the masses.
Yeah, indeed. And just as a confirmation, he is right now streaming. I mean, not right now he's streaming, but the person who is in charge of the commentating his game is looking at his game and commentating right now on his Twitch channel. So this is incredible. Like, you're playing a tournament. It's already a huge amount of energy you have to spend. You have to do a preparation. You have, besides all of this chess stuff, you have to also sometimes find time to eat something, to have lunch, dinner, breakfast, to prepare. But what he's also doing, first of all, someone is streaming his game right here, right now. So he understands it's his game, what he's playing. Doesn't matter which board he's playing. He's going to be always shown by people. Many people, thousands of people are watching it. And then, after he's playing the game, he's having dinner, Normally, person would like to come to the hotel to take a rest, to sleep, to prepare maybe already. No. What Eric is doing? He's doing a recap.
I thought he actually was doing it in the morning. Was it in the evenings? Because
I don't know.
I at least caught him in the hotel doing the breakfast. I mean, he would sit with Irene together, and then he was working with a laptop. I mean, even after early days that I didn't see him. Maybe his schedule changed, but anyway. There was a question, how is he doing? We don't have yet much information. So, Eric played Chess.com system says Agin court defense. All right. GT. Yeah, this has become quite fashionable lately. I mean, the idea is c takes, g3, bishop g2, and somehow this bishop on g2 feels better than on e2.
Okay, so g3, c5, and the idea is to play d4.
Right.
So that's why I have to take care about it, c, d, e, d.
Right, bishop g2.
So now what happens after d4?
I guess you take it a place. When Eric was here with us in live stream studio, this was day number, whichever day it was. I don't remember. It was one of the early days.
2, I think.
Number two, yeah. We had Eric here with us, so I interviewed him a little bit. and he told about his future projects, etc. And then he showed the game from the white's perspective, which was very similar like this one, like this position, right? He also played d4, established this isolated pawn on d5, and then there was some cute tactic. And then that's when I said to Eric, listen, Eric, you should be submitting this to the Beauty Awards. He said, maybe I should.
Maybe he should. I mean,
Sure he did.
no, he didn't. He didn't submit. I mean, the game which was won against Eric. So the opponent of Eric was submitting the game from the round 2, if I'm not mistaken. He was trying to get the Beauty Award for that game. Didn't manage to. So the other game won. But yeah, okay. D4 could have been a move.
No, I'm not really sure why not. Maybe D takes, maybe not. Because knight d2, d3.
D3, you have to always to look at it. Yeah.
Might be some issues. I guess white would simply play knight e2. And now d5 is closed. There could be some interesting hostilities. Knight f4, castles. Is this a strength or weakness? Who knows, yeah?
Yeah, big question, because so far there is not much forces to attack it. I mean, there is always queen b1, but it's hard to say. Yeah?
Indeed. So black decided not to do that. Bishop d6, castles, and now white plays d4. So normally this position, I happen to know with the pawn on c7. With the pawn on c7, this would be Nimzo Indian. Knight e7, knight e4, some h5, h4 ideas, because your bishop stands on d6, you want to inflict some damage here. But with the pawn on c5, I think it's going to be slightly different. Because now white can always threaten to take at some point and create potential hanging pawns in the center.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is always this DC move which black has to consider. How is the position going to be after that? Because the hanging pawns indeed could be very weak. But for now, okay, there is full protection because... Actually, wait. Yeah, there is protection on the pawn. Enough. Yeah, because I was looking at, sometimes you defend the pawn only one time on d5 because there is potential bishop h2 ideas. But in this position, we don't have it. So that's why the pawn has to be really protected. And
there's some tricky ideas like d takes, b takes, and knight e1. That's a move I definitely recognize from the English opening, attack the pawn. Let's say black does whatever he does. Not sure. Bishop f8, let's say. You play knight e3. Have a very annoying pressure.
yeah.
And if black somehow tries to kill this activity with knight e4, then black is left with the eternal weakness on c5. This is one of the common ideas here, but if you ask me, in this particular position, I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure if those hanging pawns are that weak. I mean, black is very good with development, I think, and normally hanging pawns can be exposed. And like if you have more pieces, you can bring to attack them. Maybe some preparation is needed for it. Maybe some queen d2 or rook d1.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm not even sure if d takes on c5 has to be done immediately. I'm just saying it's an idea. Sometimes white plays also knight h4 first, open this bishop, then threaten to take. Sometimes white plays, like you said, queen c2, rook d1, rook c1. Sometimes white plays queen d3, rook d1, rook c1. And the entire thing about these hanging pawns, it's really a tricky thing because, I mean, of course, white has this nice idea to bother these pawns. But if black, at some point, secures these pawns and even pushes forward, he has chance to take over the game. And that's why when white takes on c5, I think in general, this has to be done with a great care.
I think that white should take on c5 and white is really ready. And I think in this position, you still want to bring some forces to the position. Like Arthur just was also pointing out, just bring in the rook into the position and then to decide, do you want to take on c5 or do you want to keep the pressure? Of course, sometimes there might be something like c4 from black, but in this position right now, it's not even an idea.
Oh, we actually got a bunch of moves. So knight h4 was played by Eric. Look at that.
Oh, and black decided to go for the isolated pawn, but the knights. I'm a little bit scared, to be honest.
Eric is doing well. In case somebody is wondering, he has a great position. So bishop e2, I guess you want to preserve this bishop. Queen a1 maybe, or put the bishop on d4. That's a weakness. Black has no typical attack, because if this bishop is on e2, then black sometimes has this
Yeah.
king set attack. Now there's no such thing.
No such thing. The only thing what is here that black's knight is already on e4. Normally you would like to create those squares from the isolated pawn for outpost of the knight. But indeed there are so far no weaknesses. So yeah, bishop b2 or d4 is the move to follow, most likely here, and then
Yeah, I'm not sure what's better even here. Maybe bishop d4 and queen d2. Queen d2, attack the pawn. And also look at the clock, Angelica. Rozan is so much ahead in the clock, like 1 hour and 6 minutes versus black's 22. So things are looking good for the famous streamer. My suggestion is we also check Irene, since she's playing really close, and try to estimate what are her chances. Would be a sin not to check how she's doing, since we have her also on the screen.
absolutely. She was actually submitting quite some games for Beauty Awards, and her opponents were also submitting. I think that unfortunately her game somehow didn't win, even though I mean, one time there was like very, very close call, and like she got just a few points, few votes less than the winner, and it was a bit sad, but yeah. She's trying to play beautiful games. She won against very strong players in the tournament, so she's doing well.
Okay. Yeah, the c4 idea, it's tricky. Knight c6, bishop e2. Okay, this is good prep. Because one of the key ideas is that d4 is not so great for white, because black has not played a6 to the con, and against that amount of early Marazzi bind is not such a great idea. It's playable, but it's not so great. And if white plays knight c3, if I remember correctly from my course, it's knight e4, which is the strongest move here. So bishop e2, I remember that was the trickiest move that could have been played for white. Knight f6. You know, I'm more a fan of some fancier moves like g5. It's even a playable move here. Yeah?
This is pretty fancy, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy. Threaten to attack g4, d4, g4, you take over the game. Something like b3, h6. If you get to dominate these squares, then I guess you're doing great.
Well,
Yeah.
indeed.
There's a lot of knight squares to control. But there was something wrong with the Semida g5. If you ask me, what was it? I really don't remember.
Yeah. d4 was played, the trade.
Now,
So
now
we have-
black is worse, solidly. So Sikander managed to trick the opponent. Solid advantage to white, but yeah, it could be tough to break through. I mean, black creates a weakness here in d5, some knight-over position, but
Yeah.
this would be good knight-over. The pawn on c2, that's pretty good. But with the pawn on c4, I think white has definitely solid advantage here.
a6, just trying to stop this knight b5 jumps.
Brilliant game so far from Irene. c1, queen f2, nice. Increasing the pressure at the
Yeah,
right point.
very
Knight
nice.
e5. He takes on d5. I would have thought that c takes on d5 looks pretty natural to me.
Yeah. And now rook has to take, rook takes, and you basically have the c file.
I have the c file, I have two bishops, I can take it over. It's a bit strange. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with e takes on d5. It's more in the spirit of the all kinds of knight dwarfs of the Sicilians, but particularly here, I'm not sure this is such a good idea.
And maybe she just has some other ideas in mind how to proceed,
doubt
so that's why she decided that it's better to play like this. I want my bishops to look at the king side. Maybe she wants to really play something like g4, g5. We don't know. Because for now, queen is there on b8. It's not doing that much. Yeah, bishop f5 is a...
And it's difficult to stop it because the pawn on g6 cannot be
Yeah.
played because the pawn on a6 is hanging.
Rook c7, bishop f5, b6. Okay.
So black tries to give up the pawn. My mic is off. No, I think somebody toyed with the settings. Just a second.
No, it's not off.
It is. Why is it off?
Maybe...
Maybe I simply forgot to turn it on.
No, but
I
everyone
thought it was
could...
on. Can you hear me?
We hope you can hear us, boss, right now.
Maybe I was only heard from your mic actually all the time. Oh my goodness. I don't know how this happened. Somehow it's switched off. Or maybe I didn't switch it on. I don't know.
I hope it's working well now. If you could also confirm in the chat if you can. And so b6, bishop b6.
Yeah, that's a
Question
pawn
is,
sacrifice. It's a nice idea actually because look at this. I mean, a5 is impossible. There's too many attackers. Actually, a5 loses.
Oh my god. And c5 as well. So
Yeah, but if you're the viewers, you're saying yes. I don't understand what you're saying yes to. Are you saying yes, my mic is off? Are you saying yes, my mic is on? Or are you saying yes, did I miss the festival? There's a lot of chats. We have like 4 channels coming in.
Yes.
So you're saying something like that. Just be a bit more specific what you are saying
yeah,
yes
so
to.
just say if sound is okay or not. Mic is
you.
on. Thanks.
Thank you. All right.
So that's why this bishop b6 is a mistake here, right here, because you don't want to allow black to take on b3.
Yeah, now black gets a decent amount of blockade here.
Bishop c2 is the only move to protect the pawn.
Now, this is where I don't want to go. Look at this. This is how the game can completely change.
Yeah, this looks not fun.
Not fun. So I'm pretty sure that Irene is not going to take the pawn on b6.
Yeah. I think she should keep the 2 bishop advantage first of all, and then she also, because if she even takes there, her bishop on e3 is a wonderful piece. It potentially can create some problems for the king side. And bishop on d8 is, what is it doing? It's just only separating queen from the rook, and otherwise only protecting the knight on f6, but it's not such a good piece.
I'm also thinking about some ideas like. I'm not sure how white's going to continue. Let's say, again, let me just show the point. King h1, a5, king g1, insert some more useful moves. Now, can I play like the great Petrosian?
Can try.
I mean, makes sense, right? There's no pawn majority for white at the queen side. And if I get to play stuff like, of course, I wasted like 1 million tempos for white, but you get the point. If I get to play stuff like this, black is just much
Beautiful
better.
position, yeah.
Complete domination of the dark squares, right? So that's why this idea to sacrifice the exchange, it's there. And I think that Irene, she should recognize this because b6 also enables the idea to position the rook on c5. So
Yeah.
maybe b4?
Yeah, I was thinking actually, what about b4? An idea right now, actually, white threatens to take on b6.
Right.
And in case black plays a5, you should always calculate bishop b6. So in this position, black plays a5, because what is b6? Maybe it's preparation for a5. Now bishop b6 looks like simply a pawn.
But I could still sacrifice the exchange. That's the point, right?
But okay, it's a completely different position to what we had.
Completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, so d takes on c5. Maybe white doesn't take it.
Yes.
Bishop b6.
Cannot take.
Put the bishop somewhere here. Who knows? I mean, it's a complex position. b4 I like. Maybe b4, a5. There's idea like takes, play rook b1, rook b5, c5, etc.
Yeah.
And we are seeing on the live camera, which is half an hour ahead of us, because once again, if you just joined us, the games are broadcasted with a 30-minute delay. So I see on the camera that Irene already has played B4.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to say, I think B4 and A5 was played. I mean, we were just looking at this line, and I think the pawn is on A5 right
All
now.
right.
But
All right,
okay, we're not going to discuss that position because players right now are there. Any moment they can go somewhere close to us, and we don't want to say
I think
anything.
it's time for us to jump back to the leaders.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had a very good look of Eric
Around.
Claus and Irene Sikander, two famous content creators. So let's just go back. I think the camera is going to jump.
You
Let's
should
see if it
pick
does.
the board.
Look at the speed. Unbelievable.
Wow.
If only I could zoom like this with this speed. Imagine.
What a board.
Yeah. So the leader fight. Buksanji playing against his countryman, Peng Shangjian. Hope I pronounced it correctly.
Yeah.
And I told you, most likely it's going to be a fight, right? Because it's a final round, even though they're from the same country, they're compatriots. I mean, in open tournaments, when they have not so many prizes, let's say very equal prize for top 20, yeah, maybe then you're peaceful. But when there's something like very good 3-4 prizes, there's usually a bloodfest.
Yeah, indeed. And Buksanji is actually leading. One more time, I would like to remind you, dear viewers, Buksanji is leading with 7.5 points. And behind him is, we have the Aryan Chopra with 7 points. Only 2 players with this score. And then there is a huge amount of people with 6.5 points. And actually there is a confirmation of a draw on the board number 3. So we have already 2 players with 6.5 points who decided, okay, we're going to have it, to take it easy. We play a draw and we fight for the top 8.
Indeed. And one more draw we see on board number 6. Renji Huang has played a draw against Aditya Saman. Probably they already played a draw half an hour ago, since we are just getting the confirmation.
They're having 6 points, so they're, I don't know, they're fighting for the top places, but...
Let's check what we missed here.
Yeah, let's check. We
Yep, you're
left
right.
here and
95, indeed. He tried to delay this bishop d3 move so that he could take on a6 immediately. And after bishop b7, only now why play bishop e2?
and not bishop d3 for some reason. He wanted maybe to take a use from the bishop on this diagonal, because bishop d3 maybe just looking at the pawn on g6, and that's why it thinks, okay, maybe it's better located on e2, possible, and also supports the pawn in case there is any push h4, h5.
There's some nuances, because I think you're right. This h4, h5 idea makes quite a bit sense. Maybe in some lines, black cannot play knight e4 because white can recapture and the bishop is not under attack. Also could be an idea.
Absolutely.
A bit difficult to tell at this point. So knight e7, Buksanji is thinking about e5.
And now the question, how do you... okay, decided to support the knight. Looks logical. f6, and now trade is happening. And e5 is being pushed.
Okay, I think black is doing great.
I mean, I think black is doing more than great. Like this huge center. This is...
All right, let me just paraphrase. Black has an advantage. That's the first impression.
For sure.
That's the first impression I'm getting here. He has center. He has no obvious weaknesses. And white is still underdeveloped. And if I would check the bar, pretty sure it's going to say it's in black's favor.
Okay, we're not checking bar anymore. It's the first time we checked and lost.
We have switched off everything.
Yes.
We have switched off the bar. We have switched off the engine.
No, but this is really funny. You know, black fully developed. Black maybe at some moment has ideas to play e4. Right now there is a question with a pawn on b4. You have to protect it. So there are, I mean, so many ideas. Of course, white is just one move away from castling and then maybe bringing the rooks. But And don't you think that it looks like a great position for black?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, queen b3, protect the pawn, e4, f5.
You just can roll over, yeah?
Okay, let's say I'm gonna try to use the c file, castles, g5. How is this not a great position for black? I mean, maybe there's some specific reason
Maybe.
why engine says here. I mean, this is great because you have to include a trade or something. Okay, fine. No, I like visually that. I wanted to say the Chinese Grandmaster's position, but both of them are for China. Let me just be more specific. I like Buxinji's position. Looks pretty solid, but he's doing makes sense. And I think that in the entire tournament, the number one seeded player has been showing some nice chess, right? I don't remember. Did you ask him what he's doing lately? Because he's not so active.
Yeah, he said that because of the COVID pandemic, because of the lockdown, basically since the beginning of 2020, they were not really allowed to get out. And I also know from my own experience, I have quite some friends who actually live in Germany, but they have come from China. And once the girl just went there just for short time and they closed everything and they didn't let her back, even though she's currently living in Germany, so she had to wait long time. And only now, like beginning or middle of last year, they're starting to open everything again. And he said he was pretty happy to get back to chess and finally play a couple of tournaments in Spain. So he said he had quite some nice chess there, and he's very happy to be back in Biel after 10 years. If I'm not mistaken, he was here last time 10 years ago. So
all right. Yeah, indeed. I also have a good friend of mine who lives right now in China. And yeah, he said it was very strict. I mean, those rules, they had a lockdown.
Absolutely.
They had some cases of COVID. They would close the entire region, basically, just to lock down everything. Nobody goes out for a couple of weeks. It was very strict, very strict. But now they're over, they loosened up, and he said, I think they did basically one day. That's it, just lifted everything. And thankfully, finally, also the players from China can freely travel.
Yeah, he said actually it's a big pity because of the young players. You know, they're losing this precious time. They could have achieved much more. And I think also one of the players who also shared the story in one of the interviews is also Domiraju Gukesh. Yeah, he said that because exactly he had this growth during the pandemic, and even though he achieved such an incredible rating right now at this moment, and last year when he was here in Biel, he first time achieved 2700. If he didn't waste this time, during pandemic and lockdown, maybe he could have even reached it faster or more. So that's really a pity for young players.
So Gukesh is 2750 right now. He's age 17, and he says he could have reached it faster.
No, he didn't say like this, but he just said that he spent
paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I mean, arguably he's one of the brightest superstars right now in world chess. He was here last year in Biel.
Extremely humble player. Extremely humble player. Very gentleman, like another players here in Biel. Good fitting player.
We had a little chat who we might potentially see from India next year, and I think there's not so many scenarios left because in 2021 we had Sari Nikal. 2022 we had
Domiraju Gukesh.
2023 we had Arjun Erigaisi. 2024 Prague. Should be, right? I mean, it makes only sense that India is well represented here at the highest level.
Logical consequence, absolutely. Yeah, that would be amazing. That's great, actually. Again, we were talking about it already during Grandmaster Triathlon, but I find it really amazing that different countries are participating. There is not the same players from one country here in Biel. They're trying to mix countries, mix cultures, continents, and everything. That's really, really cool. And also in Master Tournament, there is a huge mix of everything.
Indeed. All right. I do see quite a bit moves played. Visually, e4, f5 is played, which makes absolute sense because black has some space advantage to the king side. I would guess something like e4, F5 happened. I don't see pawn on G5 anymore. There's some rook C3 move. We are
Wow.
like half an hour ahead. Again, in case you missed, live feed of the camera is live. The actual analysis in the live board is having a 30-minute delay. So that we are on the same page.
Yeah. Correct.
All righty. Yeah, also Raunak Sadwani, by the way, perfect example. Yeah, thank you, dear chat. Also mentioning Raunak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have such super talents of 27, 27, 50, somebody feels like slightly in the shade, but also Raunak, recently he won this great tournament. Where was this? In Serbia, was it? He won a great tournament just recently.
I have
mean, I
not.
don't
I have
remember.
not
I'd have to
followed.
check.
Yeah. Maybe.
I saw it on social media. All right, let's move on. Check board number 2 because, again, Buxunji is the leader of the tournament, 7.5 out of 9. I think that for him, a draw is a good result. But if he can fight for the win, he's definitely going to do it. Aryan Chopra versus Ratanavel.
Just as confirmation, exactly. It's a Serbia Open Masters tournament.
Right,
Just
in Serbia.
recently.
I thought so, yeah. It's a very strong tournament.
Okay. This was very sharp game at the beginning, yeah, which transposed into this end game.
Not so many moves have been played ever since, because I'm almost positive. Oh wait, that's the old feed. It's gonna update. I wanted to say it looks exactly what we have on the board, but I think this camera feed
Only
is,
there was a bishop on c4. Yeah.
yeah, the camera feed is in the past. Okay, don't worry
This
about
is this is the exception when the camera feed is actually in the past, and we are
right.
and we are also in the past. Okay.
Yeah, we're also in the past.
We're also in the
Just a
past.
second. Why this camera is not jumping back? Okay,
Maybe
give it a minute.
just needed more time. Maybe we just go back to the position where we
Yeah, I already
around
did.
here. Yes.
I already did. Rook F2 here, Rook D1 here. Oh, there
Queen
you go.
C5.
Queen C. Oh, look at that. Nice trick. Yeah, I mean, if you take on D6, Bishop C4 drops the queen.
Don't take the pawn.
I mean, I like this because very often, why it's so important to study puzzles? Why it's so important to familiarize yourself with all kinds of patterns? Because not very often you will, not very often, but not always, you will get it before executing mate in 2. Or you will get it before delivering a mate or winning a rook or doing something, forcing. Sometimes you're using tactical motives to achieve something positional. That's why Queen C5 here, right? It's not even a trap. It's just a trick to solve a problem. The bishop on D5 is under attack. You need to protect. Oh, and by the way, it also sets a trap. But of course, I mean, black doesn't really expect that white is going to take on D6. Queen E2, D takes, as you can see, this pawn cannot be taken for the same reason.
And now B4 was played.
The bishop has to be protected.
And slightly the pawn advanced to E4. Fully
That's what we
protected
have.
by bishop on C6. There are also pawn pushes possible very soon on the queen side. Some B5 idea to create a passer.
All
B5,
right.
A6, but yeah, we're going to see. What black's idea might be to try some push on the king side or to.
By the way, there's a question, Angelique, in the chat. Does Aditya Samant need to win to earn the GM norm? Didn't we already achieve it? I just sent a question to the organizers. We're going to check it out because naturally, when there's such a strong open tournament, there's definitely a fight for the GM norms. So in case somebody doesn't know how to get a GM norm, how to get the GM title, maybe this is perhaps a more important question. How do you become a grandmaster? So it's not only enough to play well. You have to meet certain criteria. So there's two criteria. Criteria number one, you have to be at least once in your lifetime, maybe there's some like limit, like 10 years or so, you have to cross ELO 2500. Criteria number two, you have to perform at the 2600 level ELO performance in 3 tournaments, and we call them norms, Grandmaster norms. So it's quite a high requirement because basically a Grandmaster becomes a 2500, and to get the GM norm you need to be playing at 2600.
Yeah, and actually, I just checked Rattenwell right now. He has current performance 2553, so he's not having 2600 performance. He has 6.5 points. He hasn't lost a single game, so he has altogether 5 draws and 4 wins. One of them against the Grandmaster, and the other one against two international masters. So he scored pretty nicely. So current performance is 2553 of him.
So Rattanwell could still do it because I think there was this requirement 5 or 6 Tatla players. He is 1, 2, how many Grandmasters?
2 Grandmasters if we count this game, and we have
So then
4
he has-
international
He
masters.
has no chance for a GM norm. He doesn't have enough Grandmasters.
But there is a confirmation from the arbiter that we have 2 other players who already got the GM norm. It's on the board number 6. We checked Samant Aditya. He has performance of 2602, exactly like this, and he played against 5 Grandmasters.
Wow. Actually, then Rattanwell was a bit unlucky. Right, that was Rattanwell who we were talking about. Yeah, this is something that I think that data players, they're definitely going to relate with me because when you're starting to play at the GM level, there's this, we call it hunt.
Yeah.
You're hunting the GM norms, and they are specifically playing in certain tournaments to achieve this. And sometimes you need a bit luck because you need not only 3 Grandmasters among your opponents, if you have 2, no norm. You need to have 3 countries, if I remember correctly. Maybe something has changed. I think it was 3 countries and 5 or 6 Tatla players. And then sometimes you get quite unlucky because imagine you play well, you're playing 2700 performance. And you could come to the final round and you can lose and you still get the norm. But something happens, you don't have enough Grandmasters, or your opponent doesn't arrive to the game.
Oh no.
That's a nightmare. You know, I've heard stories about this.
Oh no.
Yes, I've heard this. So, I mean, there was a guy who was once also going very strong for the Grandmaster norm, and his opponent just had to show up. He did not. No norm.
Absolutely heartbreaking, like.
Right. But again, you know, I do believe in one thing, Angelika. Once you start to play at that level, GM level, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Because you start to play 26, you're playing 26, so you are going to get the norm. Not here, not today. You're going to get it after a
Absolutely.
year, but you're going to get it. And I can speak about my experience. At least the most critical was the first one, because when you get the first one, you know I can do it. That's it. I know I can do it, right?
Yeah.
Because and then the next ones come rather quickly. Because before you get the first one, you're like, can I do this? Am I even capable of playing at this level? Then you get it. Okay, I know I'm capable of this.
Yeah, a friend of mine from Croatia, Leon Livajic, had similar problem just recently, but finally he became a grandmaster. But he was having really unlucky tournaments, and he was almost there because he had the rating for a long time. He had 25, 60 or something like this, 70. He was probably one of the highest rated international master, but finally he did it, of course. Like, if you have the strength, you're going to make it sooner or later. So you don't have to be upset in case, okay, in this tournament it didn't happen, but it's really going to happen. And one more player we have, international master Hari Krishnan. We are looking at his game as well. He is the other international master who also achieved another GM norm in this tournament already.
And this is the reason why Biel makes such an appealing tournament, because you can score a norm out of 9 rounds. You don't need 10, because let's say rules allow this. Because let's say after 9 rounds, if you have at this moment achieved the norm, what do? You go to the arbiter and you say, I want to fix my norm.
Yeah.
So it's fixed. This moment is fixed. That's it. I mean, the norm is yours. No matter what happens in the final round, the norm is yours. That's it. Nobody can take it away from you. And why the 10 rounds make it so interesting? Because if you don't make it from 9 rounds, something is missing, you still have this chance for round number 10. Because there's different criteria for round number 10. Okay, I got confirmation from chat. It's not even need to go to arbiter. It's automatic. Okay, to my knowledge, some time ago it was that you have to go to the arbiter. Okay, maybe now it happens automatically.
Maybe arbiter comes to you now.
Maybe arbiter comes to you. Now. I don't really know, because I got my GM title like 10 years ago.
Oh my god.
But that's why this 10-round open tournament is so popular.
But also 10 round is very nice, for the players who like 1 day break, to have 1 day break in the tournament. I saw quite a few players took in the round 5 or 6, they took bye. I think I'm not so sure if it's half a point or it's 0. I mean, I think it's half a point. Yeah, it should be half a point. So you're taking this bye, and they're just having a rest day and having normal 9-round tournament just with 1 rest day. So it's also pretty convenient.
Yeah, of course, but then they remove them chances to compete for this norm, because they might be missing this one game. Okay, but.
Yeah.
All right, and the other tournament which comes to my mind with 10 rounds, that's of course Gibraltar Masters. I think it also had 10 rounds. And with whom did I talk? I talked with somebody from the GMT tournament. One of the players about Gibraltar, which is huge and popular among players, and also very high level. And it's discontinued at the moment, because if I understood correctly, the hotel where it's being played is being renovated. And they should finish it. I don't know when. I don't have an update. Like year, 2 years, they're going to finish it, and hopefully it's going to come back, because they can't do it right now. It's being renovated, and that's the word I got, right? So I hope that indeed Gibraltar also comes back. It's a fun tournament to play.
Yeah, and we just got some confirmation. We have also other titles, other norms, as well. International Master Norm, 4 of them have been already achieved, and there is even Women International Norm achieved. And just let's try to guess, who do you think, which players are dominating in these norms? Which nationality, which federation?
Well, let me guess. I could guess it 3 times, but I think I just need 1. India.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 3 Indian players. So 2 of them, as we already said, they're getting Grandmaster norm. There is Women Grandmaster Vanitka Agrawal. We looked at her game. She's getting International Master norm. But there are also Chinese players. So 3 Chinese players are going to get a norm. But 2 of them are International Masters, and Zhang Lanlin, she's going to get Women International Master norm.
Okay.
Only 1 German player in this field, Indians and Chinese. Only 1 German FIDE Master is going to get International Master norm.
A lot of players from Asia are dominating. Okay, that's interesting. All right, what do we have here in this game? We forgot to evaluate it, because we started to talk about norms, how difficult it is to get the GM title. It is difficult, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
But it's worth it, because for players getting the GM title, there's no higher prize. I mean, for many professional players, you get invitations to tournaments, conditions, etc. It's just much easier to play chess from that moment. But anyway, let's talk about the game. Angelica, I'm not even sure how to properly evaluate this, because I see that White has a chance to organize pass pawn at the queen side, and I see that Black can be quite ambitious with f5, f4.
Yeah, that's a huge question. How do you prepare this b5? Because there could be always this f5, f4 break. Yeah, you have to be really careful. I mean, bishop c4 to stop that. F pawn. But then just your bishop was just around there a few moves ago, all right? And then putting it back.
Indeed.
Then b5 and then back. I don't know if it makes so much sense, yeah?
Right. If I was playing with white, I would be thinking, how do I stop black's threat of f5, f5, f4 with one hand, and with the other hand, how do I push forward my queen side pawns? b5, a6. Maybe you're right. Maybe bishop c4 is a move. I'm also looking at some queen b3 idea to achieve exactly that, and then trying to play b5. But the thing is, there's some e3 issues. e3, queen g3.
Yeah, and somehow this e3 pawn is going to basically be as a basically putting a wall to the queen side, you know, and then white's pieces almost cannot get back and protect the king side, the pawn on g2, and yeah, it looks a little bit too much, yeah, to allow that.
Right. Probably it's about level, you know, because again, both of the players have no real issues. Maybe black would be even better to some extent because
Yeah.
the king is more safe. Let's say black plays g6, king g7. He has no king safety issues. This king is a bit weak. You know, I mean, he's missing some protection from the square. So let me check what the dear bar says. So I would say, unless there's something concrete, black is better. That's how I feel. What? Slightly better.
Absolutely.
That's what the bar says. You know, again, very tricky to evaluate this. Maybe the reason is that white has this very good blockade, while this bishop on c6 is not doing anything. But if this indeed goes through, then black just crushes.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
All right, let's move on.
And actually, the third game is finished, and the one of the player of this game is around here, and we could invite him for an interview. Also, he won the Beauty Award for the previous round.
Absolutely.
So
let's do it. Let's do it.
We should do like some kind of 3 minutes probably to.
He's ready to join us?
Yes.
All right, let's make it indeed. Fine, this is great for me. Let's work. 3 minutes. Let's make a very short break. We might have an interview with us. Don't go anywhere. Hope you like the coverage. If you have some insights, interesting questions, and by the way, really appreciate your help. Sometimes you're providing in the chat. Don't hesitate. Do it. We're here to make your following of the tournament as exciting as possible. See you in a moment.
We are back in the studio, and I'm here right now with Robert Shlekhtenko, who has just finished the game in the round number 10. But in the previous round, there was a beauty award, and his game was chosen one of the most beautiful games of the round MTO tournament. Hello, Robert. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yesterday's game was really exciting with the attack. Maybe sometimes it was objectively not working, but it was really nice to see. Maybe you could show us some details and insights from the game.
Sure. We started off the same match, Nimzo Indian. The first moves were pretty much
Yeah.
a theory, so I can skip ahead to the more interesting moments.
Yeah. You can also place there, so you can also
Okay,
put
so
here
Let's
if you
maybe
want.
here. Yeah, so we got this position and okay, have double pawns, bishop pair, and some possibilities for attacking black's king. And maybe here I should have taken on e7, but I played this move knight f3, allowing him to play knight g6, which is a very interesting move. So if I take on g6, that position with opposite color bishop
You
should be
can
very
try.
good for
We
black.
can.
The c4 pawn is very weak, and
Yeah. So
black squares are really bad.
your bishop
yeah.
is not doing much. Yeah.
Exactly. And I thought I could retreat the bishop, but then I had this idea to play the move castles, because right now black cannot take the pawn on f4, because I have queen e4, double attack on the rook and the knight. And so I was thinking about this position. I thought, okay, if he takes on h4, I recapture, then I have some possibilities to attack black's king with f5 quickly. And even though I'm losing my important bishop, I thought this should be okay for me. And I completely missed that he could just maintain this threat and play this move d5. So it's shutting down queen e4 possibilities, attacking the pawn on c4, attacking f4, and suddenly I realized that my position is very bad. So the situation, I decided I have to sort of change the course of the game somehow, and I sort of went for it. So I sacrificed the exchange, so he takes d5, knight f4, queen e4, and now if knight takes d3, I have d takes c6, with a very dangerous attack because the rook's hanging, so he has to play queen c6, and then I take here. This is very bad for black.
So he has to take with the bishop.
Yeah, so he played bishop takes d3, and yeah, this position objectively should be very bad for white. I think maybe his simplest move is to just play queen takes d5. He's up a pawn. My light squares are extremely weak, and I thought maybe knight g5, but this is just doesn't work at all. He can just take and play king d8, and there's absolutely nothing for white. But he took an f1, which also should be good for black. So, and yeah, we've got this interesting position where it's actually not so easy for black to consolidate, because right now he cannot castle to either side. So he has to solve this main problem, where to put his king. And after the game I checked, he should play queen d5, first of all centralizing the queen, but the main point is he wants to play king d7, king c6, king b7, just protect the king, and black should be better here. And instead he played this move g5, and this is a critical moment of the game. Of course, here I spent half an hour because I felt...
How to take, how to capture.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities. I felt there has to be something strong for white, but nothing seemed to be working.
There is even queen e4.
Yeah, I was
so
thinking queen e4 at first, attacking the rook, also attacking queen g6, but somehow queen d5. And then again, the king is ready to run here, and I don't have any attack. So I was thinking, and finally I found I can take here and play queen f6, which is a very important move. Because if I play queen takes g5, which looks more natural, he's actually winning after only one move, queen to h7.
Wow.
And I have no way to create any threats. The bishop's hanging, so here white is lost. So queen f6 attacks the rook, also puts pressure on the e6 pawn, so black cannot really move the queen. And we got this really interesting position where I'm a rook down, but black's pieces are paralyzed because the rook cannot move, the queen cannot move either. It needs to keep controlling the e7 square and the e6 pawn. So for example, there's one interesting line. He could play knight c6. This is probably like his main idea. He wants to play knight d8 and defend e6, so his queen is free. But it turns out black's pieces are so paralyzed, I can just play queen f3, threatening mate in h5.
Wow.
So he plays rook h8, only move. And now even just start pushing the h-pawn with h4. And something like this, okay, the knight spins, so he can try to move the rook somewhere to unpin the knight. And now it looks like black might be consolidating somehow, because it looks like everything's defended. But turns out I can even just take here. So queen takes d8 loses to queen f7 main. King takes, I have queen f6, so for king, and rook. If he goes here, suddenly after this move, it turns out black is losing.
Oh my god.
It's,
Incredible.
it's the only move, but I think after queen d5, you go queen g7, and black's king is caught. So in the game, what happened? He played rook c8.
So what went wrong exactly? Which move was the last? This queen h7, yeah?
Yeah, so it turns out in this position, he should not play g5. I think
He
after
should not
g5
play.
is already losing position.
Oh, okay.
Maybe here he should play castles queenside. Something.
Maybe, yeah.
But it should still be good for white.
Okay.
Because here it turns out there's just no defense. So,
Incredible, yes. It's like suddenly there is nothing.
yeah, I mean, suddenly, I was completely lost, and all of a sudden I have this attack.
So rook c8 was played?
Yeah, and here I was kind of happy because I was actually able to find the most precise win. I was looking at some moves like d5, maybe h4, but then I found this move queen h6. The threat is queen h5. And his only move to stop it is queen d5, again renewing this idea of king d7. And now there's only one winning move for white. I need to keep the king cut off on the back rank. I have to stop king d7, so only move is rook to f7.
Oh, wow.
And if king takes, I have queen f6
Nice.
and queen
Check.
e7 checkmate. And
And queen h7 didn't work instead of rook f7, or?
queen h7, yeah, this is, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so queen h7 is my first idea, but I thought rook takes g5, I didn't see a win.
Looks
Somehow-
like it's very close, but...
Yeah, it's very close, but somehow the king is always getting
Yeah,
away.
king escaping. Okay, rook f7, very beautiful move. And then he played...
He played knight c6, and actually here he offered me a draw,
Really?
which I guess shows how little respect people have for my chess.
Oh, no.
Because then I played one more move, and now he resigned, actually. Because there's no way to stop queen h5. I mean, he can delay things, maybe by sacrificing the knight. But simply rook e7, and should be made in a few moves,
Yeah.
for example. Yeah, so sort of a fortunate game for me, but
Really nice game. So now you played the draw in this round. You have now 7 points out of 10.
Correct.
It's quite a nice result in the very strong open tournament. How are you satisfied with it?
I think I could have played better at some points, but for me it was sort of a relief because before this I had a few poor tournaments and lost some rating. So
Where did you play before?
I was playing mostly in America, where it's
Okay.
very different. They have 2 rounds a day, and it's not really much time to prepare. This is a very different experience. And,
Very exhausting, yeah?
oh yeah, and this is sort of like a dream tournament for me. In that sense, just with the conditions and everything, it was much better.
So what are your plans after Biel?
So I'm going to be going home in a few days, and after that I'll play the Pan American Championships in Chicago. And after that I'm going to college in the fall, so I'm not sure what I'll be doing with chess, but I hope to keep playing.
Have you been to Biel before?
No, this is my first time.
First time. So how do you enjoy here in Biel?
And I think honestly the best tournament I
Really?
played.
Oh.
Maybe that's influenced because I had a good result for once, but also I just enjoyed everything so much. The city, the organization, was just perfect. So I definitely hope to be back again.
Thank you so much. We are glad that you are happy. One more time, congratulations on the Beauty Award of the round number 9.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was a really nice interview. I'm very happy to see that the players are enjoying the atmosphere here in Biel. Great conditions for the players, beautiful atmosphere, good weather, happy people around, and then you play good chess. I mean, I believe this is how it should be. So let's continue to observe the games, Angelica.
Absolutely. Let's go and check the game. So, and before the interview, I asked Robert about if he wants to show the game from today's round, but he said it was draw. There was nothing really special there, but. The game he played in the previous round, which won the award, I think it was really nice. We discussed that objectively it might be winning for his opponent, but all pieces, he just squeezed the position of his opponent and managed to win against strong. I think he played against Grandmaster. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Yeah, we might, by the way, check what's happening on your proposed boards. By the way, I see there's a question on YouTube. Can you show board 21? If we have time, we'll try to do it. So what we could do right now, make overview what's happening at the top boards, and then we could check some certain boards, because we also have the possibility to zoom in the camera, search for the player. We are trying to find every cross, and we did after 5 minutes of searching with the camera, zooming around. But I suggest to continue with board number 4.
Okay.
Nguyen got Trunkson playing against Agrawal Vantika.
Okay. So, interesting queen on d7. Where did we leave it exactly? I think it was a long time ago.
Of course, there's a lot of games. So
Wait a second. He has 1 minute on the clock. Ooh, that's a tough time trouble.
but that was again half an hour ago. So
Of course, but
let's maybe get an updated feed from the camera, because this is an older feed.
yeah. But let's go in the moves back. Where did we leave it around?
We left it after here, after the opening.
Yes, here.
Queen d2, a5, very aggressive. What already has won the game?
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, let's maybe review what happened. Castle, knight e4, takes. Knight e5. Doesn't seem much, because normally this position arises in the Sveshnikov, Sicilian Sveshnikov, where black is more or less all right, but maybe here it's all about the counterplay. No, I think that black is doing fine. I don't see any issues. I mean, white definitely is not worse, because despite the fact that black is up a pawn, white has a good piece coordination, but then again, black has no weaknesses. At least, okay, the weakness on b5, which I don't think it's so critical. Okay, this looks pretty normal. Rook e6 is a move. Oh, that was a mistake. So maybe this was an invitation to a draw. Bishop e5, queen g4, bishop g7. Do you want a draw? Queen e4, bishop e5, queen g4, bishop g7. I have a solid position. And maybe she missed queen d7, attacking the pawn on b7 and the pawn on d6.
Draw offer declined.
Probably. I mean, otherwise, playing bishop e5, bishop g7 and go back to force the white queen to go to the more active square doesn't really make any sense. So something was missed.
Something was missed, and now she had to be very passive here, yeah?
Yeah, and white suddenly takes over the game, very active pieces. This is a weakness, this is a problem. Yeah, look how one mistake and you are in trouble.
One mistake, and this is not...
But I mean, it's just fine. Play rook e6. I don't think this is a big problem, unless there's some immediate trick, maybe b3. Rook f6. I can't really imagine black having major issues here, so I think that Vantika simply misplayed his position. She miscalculated something, and now we are getting the moves, which are coming in with a 30-minute delay.
Yeah.
White is pushing, and apparently something happened for black in the time trouble, and white was victorious.
Yeah, indeed. Nguyen, the second place in the overall, not in overall rankings, in the rating from the start of the tournament, and scoring a victory, which brings him to 7 points. So we know already we just had with us Robert Schlechtenko. He has 7 points right now, and his opponent Jan Liu. So there are already 3 players with 7 points after this round. And of course we have Aryan Chopra, who has 7 points before the round, and we have Buksenju, who is having like actually 7.5 points.
All right.
So let's go forward to the next game. We have Pranav Anand against Riyad Samadov.
I think we might have to again use the number 1 camera.
Yeah. We might have to wait till it's
Yeah, when I switch
going.
to the cameras, it's always there's a lag. So
Yeah. So we're going to wait for the camera to be
then I'm-
active.
then I'm going to turn it around.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? Clearly, the position has complicated. I think we left it. Yeah, this craziness.
Yes, this craziness with G4, G5.
So white position the knight beautifully on F5, D5.
E4.
White
That's-
feels much better. That's how I feel. White feels much better. No, engine says black is worse. You know, I don't know. I mean, today I feel I'm a bit off, right? I can't probably evaluate. I'm saying white is better, black is better. I
We
said black
got
is better, white is
used. We got used to the GMT games. It was easier somehow for us to analyze the Grandmaster Triathlon games and Masters
Indeed.
Open tournament. But yeah, E4 looks a little bit strange move, but I don't know.
I mean, it cuts off access to the d5 square so that this bishop is no longer active. Knight f6 activates the bishop. No, it does make sense. Okay, can I perhaps move this thing? Oh, now it responds nicely. That's good news.
Yes.
Where are you,
And
my
here
friend?
is our board below.
are.
We go down. Down, 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 down. We see the players are at the board. Maybe actually board 2 could be a good idea, but okay, we don't want to. Because from board 2 we could see them from the side, but okay, we don't want to.
That's already
Complicate,
next level
yeah.
thinking you have there, Angelica. I mean, I'm not really so advanced. All right, let's observe what happened in this game. Take, h4. Makes sense, attack the pawn on g5.
Yes.
Black said, all right, let's do this. g5, bishop g5, white sacrifice a pawn to increase pressure and pin on the knight on f6. All right.
Makes sense. Knight e7. Okay.
c3, h3, bishop h1, rook
Oof.
g8.
This
Here.
pawn on h3.
Yeah, the pawn on h3 is a monster.
What is bishop on h1 doing? That's a big, big problem, right? Bishop has no squares at all.
I mean, it has a role. It's stopping the h-pawn. But apart from that, you're right. I mean, it's not doing anything really.
And I like that black's knight, are ready to jump in. So in case bishop f6, always knight will take and keeps the pawn on e4. Now the question is, knight e5, stopping
okay. White is in trouble. This is pretty obvious.
Yeah, white is in trouble. Knight is coming to the d3. Okay, so what was... maybe he shouldn't have brought 2 knights to f5 and d5.
Perhaps this was too ambitious. Because, one thing I've definitely noticed, Angelica, at any levels, when people play moves like h4, they very often expect that the opponent is going to respond with h6. When there's some immediate attacks like bishop g5, people expect there's going to be automatic h6, etc. There's like automatic expectancy. And here, apparently g takes on h4 works just fine. Meaning, instead of protecting the pawn on g5, which might become a problem in the long term, here Samadov says, okay, I'm just going to grab this pawn. You still need to prove what you have. g5, bishop g5, knight e7. And I think it simply does not work. Because if white has sacrificed his pawn, and the next move he has to play c3, then it's just not right, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, because h4 is a very dynamic move. Like you're trying to explode the pawn's chain there on the king's side, and you're trying to use the fact, okay, king is on e7, still in the center. But the king is a few steps away from coming to the to b8, like king d8, king c7, king b8. King is in safety. But what about the position of white's king, and what about the whole king side? It's a huge question.
Actually, I have a better question. Who is even bothering the black king?
Yeah, that's
It
actually.
just feels pretty much safe on e7. I mean, the bishop on g5, maybe. White is underdeveloped, as you
Yes.
said. He hasn't castled long. So white is simply in no position to cause any problems to the black king, and that's what black can afford, to play moves like king d8, king c8, hire the king. And now about here, I think that white probably realized, okay, I'm in trouble, right? So the only thing which can save white is some super activity, because everybody plays like this. You're down a material. What you try to do, you try to be aggro, aggressive, go forward, try sacrifice another pawn, take over the initiative, and hope it's going to be enough.
I have a question. What happens after rook g8? Because to rook g8, you don't have any rook f7.
I'm not even sure if rook f7 is a big deal. I mean, rook g8 is a move. I'm not going to argue. Ah, wait, there's bishop e4.
Uh-huh. So that's a problem.
But this pawn is getting stronger and stronger by any trade,
Yeah.
right?
That's the point. I mean, I would love to play knight d3, but my problem is this pawn on f7. Maybe d5. No, d5 cannot be played because knight on e5 is hanging. Okay. It somehow looks very great, like great position for black, but somehow a little bit still has to be done, just in order, to stabilize everything. Because for now, you cannot play knight d3 because pawn on f7 is hanging. You cannot play d5 because bishop on knight on e5 is hanging. So just there should be a couple of more precise moves, and I think black is absolutely fighting or like having advantage already.
That is if you care about the pawns. But if we don't care about the pawns, it might broaden our perspective and give us moves, active moves. And actually, this knight d3, Angelica, I'm not so sure it's such a bad idea. Because you mentioned rook f7, but it also opens queen f5. And bishop d6, you have to calculate precisely if the white's pieces are not overloaded.
Because the problem is bishop g5,
Oh,
I thought.
missing.
I thought bishop g5 instead of bishop d6. Bishop g5, the problem knight on f6.
I'm not sure there's d3 and some kind of discovered checks. You think I calculated this? No. What I'm saying is that even this might be possible. I mean, it gives black a lot of possibilities. I'm not saying it's 93. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
there could be some active moves like this. There could be a pawn which is not driven by the motivation. There could be a move which is not driven by the motivation to keep the pawn, to keep the material balance, because black is up a pawn. Actually, there's also knight h5. Just as we were talking, I
Yeah.
just noticed this move.
yeah, knight h5. We have to be careful about the e4 pawn. Yeah, always. That's.
Again, you talk about a pawn.
But
and
okay,
e4.
e4 pawn is really important, I think, because it's stopping the bishop from coming out.
Maybe.
But we can calculate this line. We can try to check.
Okay.
So rook moves somewhere.
Where?
Good question. G5,
How far do you go?
G1. I think G5.
Maybe you can take on e5.
Queen takes, or
Yeah, I guess queen takes, rook f7. But my pawn is getting stronger and stronger. You see this h3.
yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point.
And could be rook g8.
Rook
Rook
G8,
G1.
rook G1. Good. Yeah, this is one of the key ideas. Rook G8, rook G1.
This pawn could become a big problem to white. So I could easily imagine something like this being played. Actually, no, it was not played because h2, black did it immediately. And
Well, then-
unfortunately, Anand here sits in front of the king side, so I don't see if black has advanced any further.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all because of what? Because of too early h4. Because first, probably white should have brought the king into the safety or done something else, but this h4 was just too much. You see, white created problems for themselves basically. Pranav Anand created this passer problem, big problem for himself.
Maybe we can already search for a mistake already here.
Yeah.
It's difficult to tell. Okay,
But
97.
c4 is not possible. Yeah, c4, knight d3.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want a lot
Yeah.
of 93 check. This would be too much.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe 97 is a move, but let's say bishop e3 could have been continued. Again, it's a different game. You know, we could go back as far.
Yeah.
The first move. The first move was a mistake. You shouldn't have played. What did you play there? I mean,
Why did you play?
e4, big mistake.
Oh
You should
my
have
god.
played e4.
Blunder.
You can always find a mistake. So,
Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, the players already are in this position. Okay, we have this position. In reality, of course, it advanced much more. I think when we earlier had the footage when we were checking this game, I remember actually seeing Riyad alone at the board. He was just sitting there alone, and during that, Pranav Anand was walking around. He was checking other games, but what we see now he's constantly sitting because he understands he's in trouble.
Right. Let's select the next game. I think I saw that the players next to them were finished in a draw. Indeed, I see also confirmation on the chess.com boards that Renji Huang has finished in a draw. And just to confirm, I'm going to move the camera to the right.
Yeah, we have a draw.
There's no game.
Kings are standing on e45.
Also, the next game is finished. White has won.
won.
That would be Nico chasing against Hari Krishnan.
Actually, yeah. Actually, how good for Hari Krishnan that there were 10 rounds altogether and that he played almost against all grandmasters possible. Like, I was checking against whom he played. He played in the second round against Nikita Meshkovs, in the third round against Anand Pranav, in the third round against Quesada Perez, and Nguyen he played, and against Yufa Daniel, against Albornoz Cabrera. So he played against Sigrid Masters, didn't lose a single game to them, so he played 3 draws and 2 wins. So had quite an incredible performance. And the last game he's losing, but he has this safety pillow, as we can say, safety bag. He already has the norm.
All right. Yeah, maybe I think there's no point also to select this game because it's finished. But okay, let's do this. We looked at it right after the opening. Remember this idea I said that it's not very good for black this line. And we missed something, of course. D takes 95. Knight Queen B6. Okay, these players really are looking for the fight here. Yes, of course, it's the final round. You want to win. You want to fight for the prize. Look at that.
Rook F3, what a move.
Sacrificed exchange. Bishop F3.
You can take the rook. You can take the knight. You can take anything you want. The rook on A8 is under attack.
That is really inspiring.
Bishop
chess.
D5, E4.
Whoa.
Wow, incredible.
So not bishop D5. E4 attacks the queen with the queen on G4. Another intermezzo check. This is nuts. Another intermezzo move.
Oh my god, so how many pieces are hanging? Like, the bishops are hanging, everything is hanging. This is incredible.
Another exchange sacrifice. I mean, this could have been easily a submission to one of the most beautiful games of the round, because here the American played very interesting dynamic chess. Queen traded, and then it's time to crash through at the 7th rank, because rook f7, I guess, somehow loses due to
I mean,
d6
there is
something.
d6, yeah.
d6, rook d6. No, wait, what? Where's the first win?
Wait.
Maybe he just flagged because it shows 37 seconds. It could be that black just flagged.
I mean, maybe you don't have all the moves. It's also possible.
No, but the result already is in. That's
Yeah,
it.
but
White
we have half an hour delay in the broadcast, so
The
maybe.
result is in.
I know that the result is in.
So this means no more moves are incoming. I think he just flagged. Okay, but maybe you're right, you know? Maybe indeed more moves are going to income, but
Or
I
we
guess
just cannot figure it out.
this looks very good for white. I mean, this pawn is advancing, and I guess it Could be. I mean, just a second. I'm gonna cheat a little. What's the problem here? Because we have live games. There's something wrong. What is it?
No, just take the pawn. Just take the pawn.
Just take it and then
No
push.
need to buzzer.
No need to give up the pawn. Okay.
Okay.
So who is next?
Who is the next victim?
Nikita Meshkov is playing still. Okay, that's the game I want to check. How is he doing? Whoa. Okay. I'll try to move the camera a little bit. We have to apologize. I have no certificate for operating cameras.
So he's doing it illegal.
Where is he? He's finished already.
What happened? Wait, what?
He won. No, white.
White one. It looks like.
Oh, that's such a terrible tournament for him. So we left it. We left it here, and the great result, of course, for Georg Seul. I mean, it's always the other way for the other player. So knight d4, rook e1, queen d2. I guess white is pushing. He has better pieces. Yeah, queen f5, looking for the queen trade. Black said no. Although the position looked pretty balanced, but something must have happened here with black, because I guess knight g3, h5, white simply has, in a poker language, how do I call it? A free roll. What does it mean? You try for free the attack, right? There's no counterplay for black. Knight g3, h5, h6, rook e7, major threats. This poor bishop on c4 is doing nothing. I guess something happened, which we are going to get in the next half an hour, because again, the games are broadcasted with a 30-minute delay, and white created another upset.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. So there was a request to check board number 21. Can we do this? Who is playing on board 21?
On board 21, we have international master Litsnersky Lukas against Eidelman Gabriel.
Let me see if I can get it here. Now, where do I find him? Eric is playing board number
17. I think they're on the other side, next row.
Next row, but you mean somewhere here? That's the main arbiter, Anna Shrebnitz. You see, she is closely following.
She's controlling everything.
She senses something.
Moving at her.
Maybe she just watches, enjoys it.
Just imagine having a drone, in playing hall, which would fly from one game to another. You can just watch.
Would you feel nervous? Imagine yourself, you're playing, and then suddenly the main arbiter comes and is very interested in your game, no? You feel like there's this watching eye
Yes.
on your game.
So do you think this is board?
have no idea.
No. I think it's like the other side. So like it's more on the
I don't
left.
know how it looks.
More on the left. So
It could be either of them. So I'm sorry, I don't know everybody from the looks. Could be here.
if I'm not mistaken, the game might have already finished, because I think it's the second row from the behind. I think the board is somewhere there.
One player I recognize who is playing with black couple of boards next to him. Can you name me from the pairings? Because I know one player, so I could just calculate how far is Lukasz in hoodie. If he's in hoodie, game is finished. So what happened? We saw it.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I can zoom in.
So you see the last moments of the game. The game finished.
The king
Wait.
is on
The black.
black square. This means black most likely won.
Yes. Yes, black one.
Black won. There you go. There's your confirmation.
Ah, wait. White one.
What? Oh wait, it's kingy. I can't understand it because there's pieces in front of it.
Wait.
There's also
Yes, king is only 4 and
another
king
player
is.
who is conveniently in the frame
Wait, but how white?
in front.
How white won this position?
So what won, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, white is looking great. He has an attack at the king side. I mean, g3, open the
Yeah,
king.
but you can take the pawn on h3 or g3.
But again, it's
Ah,
not everything
yeah.
about
Okay,
the pawns,
okay,
right?
okay.
All right. Sorry, my friend, whoever you are in the frame,
And the
we are not looking at you. All right. We're turning back. We're turning back. Sorry about this.
we're going.
Let's go back.
Oh wait, we have a result already.
Actually, the players, they don't know. Imagine yourself, you are
Oh my god.
sitting there minding your business, and the operators just zoom in and they basically read your face what you're doing.
Oh my god.
So sorry. That's our job.
Okay, we have a draw on the first board. What does it mean? It means that Books and G is currently having 8 points. And
It's a confirmation, right?
it's a confirmation. He has 8 points, and the only person who can try to catch him is Aryan Chopra from the board number 2. Maybe we could.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
have a look at. Does not look very peaceful from what we are getting here. I mean, looks very hostile.
Yes.
But I mean, you know, I'm a big fan myself of fighting out, and especially if it's between countrymen. Sometimes it's very principal fight, and it's not prearranged. Nothing. They're fighting it out. They're trying to find out who's going to
Absolutely.
take the prize.
Yes.
And then there's a bloodshed to make a draw, and just feels more natural, you know, rather than making quick draw in 12 moves, agree to a draw, which is something that people are used to, especially in the final rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. As we can see, there were like no quick draws or something like this on board 1 or 2. Even though we had on the board 1 2 Chinese playing facing each other, on the second board we had 2 Indian players facing each other. And we see actually the Indian players are still fighting. They're still in the fight right now because for Aryan Chopra is it extremely important draw or win. I mean, okay, he might also lose. It's possible. We are looking at the board, was all not so clear, but yeah, for him, for sure, it's important to fight it out, to play it out the game, and try to fight for the first place.
So black sacrificed a pawn here, which maybe means nothing because black is very active, white is underdeveloped. We are only getting the moves here, but the game is finished, so we're not gonna hold on to this game. Perhaps we can come back.
Yeah.
So it was
Maybe-
well for a draw.
Maybe we go to the second board now, and once we have already the result on the first board, we could check how it finished, what happened.
Absolutely, it's a great idea. But there's no more changes. We are getting the same position like for the last
Around
hour.
the same, yeah.
There's a big battle. Again, Aryan Chopra technically is a ELO favorite. I already told you it doesn't matter. I mean, when there are 2 Indians playing against each other, this is completely something different. And I think Ratanvel was the unlucky one who doesn't get the norm, right?
Yeah, he didn't have enough grandmasters. I think he played against only 3 or 2. Yeah, only 2 grandmasters.
Yeah, Chopra is his second grandmaster, so.
He played against 4 international master, women grandmaster, and 2 grandmasters. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, the 3 grandmasters is the starting requirement. No matter how well you play, you can perform 3,500. You don't have 3 grandmasters, so it doesn't matter. All right. Looks probably balanced, but I mean, if black, I already said this, if black gets to play a 5-4, he can take over the game. If white gets to promote his pawn, he can take over the game. and most likely somehow it's heading to a peaceful outcome.
I mean, this is game for 3 results. Everything can happen here. Like,
Yeah, and the stakes are high. The stakes is
Yeah.
the second place, and maybe even the first place, because if Chopra wins, he could catch the leader.
I was just checking the standings after round number 9, and actually, according to the standings, he has the same tiebreak with the Chinese grandmaster. First tiebreak, 48 points. I guess it's Buchholz Kat, if I'm not mistaken. And the second tiebreaker is actually slightly higher for Chinese grandmaster Buxanji.
Well,
So
this is an interesting story. We could talk about this because there's no more unreliable thing than your tiebreak.
yeah,
I mean, I think all of us, we have been in this situation. Imagine yourself, you are tying for a certain place. Let's say for the first place, you have finished your tournament. You've done the best you could, but there's some other guy or a girl who has the same amount of points, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. So what do?
you check.
Stalk.
You check your
You
opponent.
stalk your previous opponents, and you are trying to bring them chocolate and coffee so that they feel well. I'm joking, of course. You're not doing that, but you're
Oh my
cheering
God.
for them. Come on, I mean, do this for me, right? I play with you. You're my tiebreak. I need you to win because, in case you're not familiar with the tiebreakers, the most famous tiebreaks is the amount of sum of the points from your opponents, and that's why it's so important that the opponents you have played, that they play well themselves. And then there's this sinking feeling sometimes, you are watching that your tiebreak is playing against somebody and he does something terrible and he loses, and then you're so mad at him, and how dare you lose because you are my tiebreak, right? Because I mean, and he doesn't even suspect that he is causing some discomfort to the tournament leader, but that's how it is.
That's indeed how it is. Like, you're playing board 1, 2, and then some guy who's playing one of the last boards could decide much for you. That's why I think that also this Buchholz Kat rating is one of the most popular right now, because it's basically it's like normal Buchholz but without one result, because sometimes you might play someone who is like two.
Best and the worst.
The best and the worst.
I think
yes.
so.
Yes,
Unless
yes,
there's
yes.
some modifications, I
Yeah.
think it's always removing the best and the worst.
Yeah, so basically if you played against someone who withdrew from the tournament, let's say, that's very typical. Sometimes can happen.
Yeah, imagine yourself. You play first round somebody, you outplay him, and then he gets sick, where he's fed up with the tournament, he quits, etc., and your tiebreak is ruined. That's it. I mean, he's gonna get you a very bad tiebreak in the end.
Yeah,
So that's why
absolutely.
this improved tiebreaker is so important. Sorry that I interrupted you.
No, but it's exactly what I wanted to say, so it's perfect, yeah.
Alright.
Absolutely. Okay, so
Right. So tiebreaks, they're a lottery, really. Sometimes before the final round, some of the players have a large lead. I've even seen this, Angelica. Let's say before the final round, one of the players has a 2-point or 2.5 point lead in the tiebreaks, and he feels safe. And then the unthinkable happens in the final round, and he's trailing behind because all of your tiebreaks they lose.
yeah.
And then there's these fights between the tiebreakers between each other, because let's say it's actually quite funny. So let's say me and Angelica, we're sharing the first place, but we have played against two opponents who are now playing against each other. So what we do, we try to cheer them on. So it's like they're competing because it's 2 points at stake.
Yeah.
If one of them wins, the other loses automatically. So it's a big difference. Okay.
Yeah. Luckily we are not playing and not sharing anything.
I just bring some warm and cold memories, really. So,
Warm and cold.
so I can definitely relate to. And sometimes I just try not to really follow.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
fine. Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
let's follow the games.
Okay, let's keep on following the games. We still have here in clear position. We know opponents are still taking time, thinking, trying to know to understand what's going on. Maybe we move to some.
I don't know your selection.
I mean, Pranav Anand we have checked recently, right? There was. Maybe we can quickly
You
check.
can follow this game because it seems to
very
be
interesting, yeah.
a lot of excitement there.
Oh, some moves were played. So I think,
Indeed.
and both players are like in a time trouble. Of course, right now for us on the camera footage, if we'll see them, then they of course are not in the.
So we are going to use board 1 camera because this no longer we need for board 1.
We could use even board 2 or board
Board 2
2.
is in play.
Yeah, but
All right, let me see if it's responding. Wait.
just from board 2, maybe it was like from the other side. It's okay. We saw the players already from this camera. We are going to
No,
keep
it's
on
not very
doing that.
responsive. It's barely moving today.
No.
I don't know how it works. Sometimes it works nice and sometimes there's a
Oh,
heavy
Aryan
lag.
Chopra was walking. We can see.
He could help me move the camera.
Yes. Just turn like this. Yeah, he's walking here and there. Maybe he's worried about something.
Not very responsive right now. I mean the camera. I should just move. Move it. Because the other tile was moving pretty fast. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
That's bad. Oh, there you go. There you go.
So here we have the game. We see the players. Actually, just now we had a quick glance in the playing hall overall, like on the boards, and we could see that actually quite some games already finished because the players approached the time trouble, and many games, especially in the master tournament or actually till yesterday we had amateur and main tournament here. So till the time trouble, many games would finish, because it's normal. Someone did a mistake in a time trouble, another person took over, and that's how we would get the result. I think the same is also in master tournament. Oh, we have a perfect footage right now, actually, from the position. We actually see already it looks like a queen endgame, but we are still having many pieces on the board. Of course, we're going to look at the position first. We might check. We might go to the position where we left the game, and then we will go through. But
All right.
as what we can see, there is already a queen endgame.
I'll try not to zoom in any more than I have to.
Yeah, let's maybe check from the position we last.
Black is playing for the win if he is to move.
He is to move for sure because the opponent just left the board. We saw.
Right. I think that here Reed Samadov is playing for the win. That's a queen endgame.
Yes.
We missed some action. We're not going to analyze this game because the live moves are still incoming. But I think something like queen d5 or queen d1 pushing the d pawn makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I don't think it's good to discuss it.
I'm pretty sure he knows this. It's not like I'm going to tell something unique. But he is thinking about pushing for the d pawn, but
Okay.
avoiding perpetual check. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? So
Okay.
if I see correctly in that on f2 is not a bishop, it's a pawn. I think it's a
Yes,
pawn.
it's a pawn.
Then black is pushing. He's just making sure there's no perpetual check. Is there? I have no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
So that
Okay.
will mean what? How many points do they have?
Let me check. So we have both 6 points. So
this
it
could be
means
big result.
Big result, absolutely. Because we already had Nguyen who won with 6 points, so he has 7 points right now. And Pranav Anand and Samadov Riyad both have 6 points. If Riyad managed to win it, it's going to boost him up somewhere to the top.
All right. We select somebody else. Interesting. I don't know. I feel a bit in playful mood.
Let's look around. I mean, we could check Eric and Irene again if you want. Or you want just to look
I
around
just want
with
to randomly find somebody.
some interesting position and look at it.
There's my friend who was in the frame previously.
Yeah?
Not by his fault, of course.
Yeah.
It was my operating skills.
What is this position we have here?
His position. Who is it?
I don't know.
I can
Let me try.
zoom in because I could have a pretty good look.
Yeah, we can try to check.
Sorry
so
about
let me...
this slow motion zoom in. That's the response from the camera I'm getting. It's like 2-second delay for every action I'm doing, and that's why it's a bit unpredictable. What's it gonna do?
I'm just trying to find who we might have here. If I'm not mistaken, we have Rohit Krishna with black pieces with 5.5 points.
Next to a girl.
And he's playing against. Wait. No. It's Mutaya.
Oh, he saw me. Okay.
Mutaya Ai, international master, 5.5 points. Playing against international master.
Which board?
It's board number 12.
Sean was here with us from the West perspective. He was here with us at the studio one evening. Just
Yes.
a sec, let me select it. Sean Rodrigue Lamier, he's the reigning world champion under 18. And recently he got his, was it the second or the third norm? Pardon me, I don't remember. He definitely got the GM norm in this Canadian transnational championship where I was playing. Very interesting tournament, organized at the highest level, both in Montreal and Toronto. And this is where we went. 3 Latvian players, where I told you. And Sean was there. So very pleasant guy, humble and talkative. So it seems that that's the game. Yeah, I found that.
It seems like there is some rook h8 sometimes idea. It's queen e4 and everything. So, but
White is trying to be ambitious, as you can see. That's the final position. Already the last rank is penetrated. The king is, though, more or less safe. There's no checkmate. Rook h8 is king g6. So most likely what the Canadian young player is thinking about here is thinking about perhaps at some moment to trade queens and get to those queenside pawns and somehow win this rook endgame. Otherwise, I'm not sure how else he can try to win this. Perhaps also black is ambitious here, I'm not sure.
He can also try to push pawn to h5 and threaten checkmate.
Actually, that's not such a bad idea. No, actually, why? It's pretty normal idea.
Yeah, very
H5,
normal, yeah.
Some check, king h3, rook h8 is a big idea. And we're not spoiling anybody here because I'm pretty sure that he knows this, he realizes this, and that's why he's thinking here.
I think also what is important that queen on a8 is protecting the pawn on f3 because, for example, if right now queen d2 is played with some check, then after king h3, I guess, there is no rook f3. Yeah, the pawn is protected. But actually, queen d2, king h3, rook f3, queen f3, queen d7, and queen g4. Okay, you cannot win the pawn.
All right.
Okay.
Sean is not at the board right now. That's a live feed. Moves which you're seeing on both screens, not in the camera, but on both screens, they are with a delay. This is what we have mentioned a couple of times. There's a 30-minute delay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Who else is here? Maybe we can spot something interesting.
Yeah, maybe we just look with the camera around and we spot something.
Also, the viewers, if you have some interesting suggestions you would like for us to check a game, we can do that.
Yeah.
And we are still waiting for the critical events which are happening on board 2. It seems there's not much action there right now, more or less peaceful. That's why we are using this opportunity to look for something, and we are in the red. Hope not for long.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
we have.
Pray it's gonna come back.
Riyad played the move. We can see him drinking water and enjoying life.
Yeah, we're back. Okay. Some
We're back
Some
on the track.
fluctuations with the internet again. Yeah, I've been quite unlucky since day one. We have the best organizing team here.
Yes.
But there's this thing as the technique. And I don't know what's to blame, really. So I don't really want to talk about it because it's...
I don't want to really to blame. Yeah.
I definitely don't want anybody to blame. It's just, I don't know, there's some...
Oh, we have a result on the board. This near the near this board, we're just looking at women grandmaster Huang Qian, and
Okay. It seems it's a draw.
think it seems it's a draw, and I think actually she, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check right now, but I think she got the international master norm.
Oh, that's nice. That's good for
Wait a
her.
second. Sorry, no,
No?
not her. Sorry, another women grandmaster,
Somebody else.
Vanitka. Yeah, Vanitka Agravai. We are looking at her game. Yes,
And good
sorry.
for her.
Yes, good for her.
All right.
But another Chinese player, Zhang Landin, got women international
Where's
master.
Eric?
So, no, it's too much.
Yes,
Too-
I know. It's just moving. There's nothing I can do. I mean, it's just moving at its own.
He is somewhere in the second or third row.
Yes, I know. I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, I think this
Trying to-
around here.
Make it listen to me.
Yeah, we still
There's
see
Daniel
Irene.
Yufa.
We still see
Oh, there's
Irene.
here. He's here.
We still see Irene. We still see Eric.
Oh, maybe check Yufa's game.
Okay.
And then we can try to switch to Eric Rosen, who is in the frame. I mean, most of the players have finished, and Eric are still playing together with Irene. It's like they have a agreement, so we're gonna finish it together, you know.
Yes,
I'm
we
gonna wait for you.
play together, finish it together. Why not?
This camera, I'm so sorry. Just, you know, next year I'm gonna request a joystick. So that I can freely operate. I'm just trying to zoom into Daniil Yufa's game, and I also think I'm gonna have it. Come on, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Daniil Yufa is one of the high-seeded players in MTO, but he was having some tough time in the tournament. Of course, when you have a lot of players from India, underrated players, players who are seeking norms, it's difficult for also
Yeah.
the casual grandmasters, so to speak, perform well.
And he's leaving the board.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a better frame.
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, where is this game?
I think it's board number 9.
Board number 9. There you go. Daniil is a very pleasant person, very humble, very nice to talk with. So also good friends with Nikita Meshkov. So I think it was Daniil who invited Nikita to join the tournament.
Okay,
Alright,
so
what do we
what
have
are we
here?
having?
So he's playing against Sanchez Alvarez, a player from, what's that country? Panama?
It looks like,
Can you
Panama.
check it at the results?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
So it's like
some isolated pawn.
Black is doing all right. This I can
Yeah.
tell you immediately.
Yeah. Isolated pawn problem potential.
Yeah,
But
there's some other problems as well.
and also the problem is that b5, b4 is an idea to create a passer.
Yeah. There's also
maybe
a problem
queen.
with the red color.
Problem where?
With the red color. Okay, no, it's coming back.
Okay. Oh. So yeah.
All right. So you're saying, yeah, queen d8. I think indeed the problem is that with the pawn on d4. And I'm not sure what happened here, but I have a feeling that if somebody is pressing here, it's black.
Yeah.
So not a successful tournament so far for Yufa. I'm not sure what we can tell from the current position, which is half an hour ahead of what you're getting. I see that the black queen is on f3. Rook is on d4. White is up a pawn, is he?
I'm not so sure because we don't see.
Yeah, I don't
The
see what is
pawns,
happening on a7 or b6,
yeah.
but I don't see any pawns there. So if my eyesight is not completely failing me, I have a feeling that Yufa simply has a pawn. Does he know? No. Wait. Yeah,
There
I think
is
he has
no-
an extra pawn. The
There
pawn is
is
on
B-
b3 and there's nothing else, so there's rook and
b3
f1.
pawn.
It protects everything.
Yeah, and there is also queen on f3, while rook is on d4. I think rook is on d4 and queen on f3.
Okay, anybody who's cheering for Daniil, probably good news. This means he's out of the danger and he's trying to push for more.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for him for the rankings? How many points does he have?
He
5.5,
has
right?
currently 5.5 points, yes, so
So not really in fight for the top 6 or something like that, but still could get a prize if circumstances are right.
potentially yes, because we don't know how after the round will change their like tiebreaker. We don't know how his other opponents are going to play. And we have actually Riyad coming to us, checking the game of Yufa, checking how is he doing.
All right.
Okay, so maybe we could check Irene and
Yeah,
Eric.
try to move this camera. It's a bit not responding really well to my requests. Because they're playing right next to Neil, the next row. I'll try to do it very, very carefully. There you go. We are back in the red.
We're back on the track of the red light. Very good.
I think it's because I'm moving the camera.
No,
Yeah, I suspect.
no. I were moving before many times.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we were moving earlier and it was...
All right. Okay,
We are back.
back to live.
We're back on the track. And
So-
we have Irene and Eric Rosen right now.
What do we have here?
Big question.
Eric's position is completely untraceable. So maybe I only see he has a king on the first rank somewhere. I don't know what else is happening, so we're going to start with Irene.
At least we know that his king is in safety.
At least we know he's playing,
Yeah, he's playing.
so to speak, yeah?
Yes.
So he's not gone. He's still here.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So Irene Sikander is winning, at
She
least visually.
is pushing, yeah.
Half an hour ago at least. She's playing against Marco Materia, young talent from France, right?
Yeah.
And that will be another great result for Irene because she already beat some strong players here. And at this position, she simply has 2 extra pawns.
Yeah.
If my calculation skills are not completely failing me. And I mean, black has some counterplay. The rook on g7 is attacking the pawn on g2. So unless white is going to blunder a mate in 2 or something, then I think that this could be another upset and a great result for the Indonesian player.
Yeah, she just won the previous round. She won a game before that. She played a draw. I mean, she had quite a nice start. She started with 2 wins actually. Then somewhere in the middle of the tournament she lost, but she was playing against strong grandmaster and also in this Ratanvel international master. So yeah, but now she's having really nice finish. And if she manages to win this game, it would be pretty nice performance for her.
All right. Now that we know that Irene Sikander is doing well, how is Eric doing? Let me check because he is playing next to her. Eric Rosen, of course, is known very well as one of the most popular content creators for chess, both on Twitch and YouTube. Incredibly humble person. Always a pleasure to talk with him. So, what do we have here?
We have Irene's opponent looking in our direction, trying to...
This is pretty complex. Just a second. I can't. Oh, he's looking at us. Huh?
Yes, a little bit, but now not anymore.
You like senses the big brother is watching you.
Yes.
Yes, 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 we are. We are
We
watching
are
you.
watching.
We're looking exactly at you.
But now, because he turned, we can see at least something from the game of Eric. We can see some.
Okay, can I just fast forward?
Yeah.
So that we don't talk too much about what happened half an hour ago. So White was pressing. Eric was pressing.
Yeah.
Right here. This was good. And he decided to sacrifice a piece.
He didn't sacrifice because knight is on c5 hanging.
Oh, bishop g7, knight c5. But after knight e7, he miscalculated.
Wait.
He simply miscalculated. That's what happened. Yes, he miscalculated. I'm not sure. By the way, Angel says rook c1, White is winning, right here. So he simply miscalculated. He thought that bishop g7, queen c5 is going to be a move. Black included knight e7, leaving
But-
the bishop on b7 under attack.
Why don't you take the knight? I mean, knight d7, queen d7? Bishop c8, queen. Oh my god, this is so.
And it's so
Tricky,
tricky. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very tricky.
Bishop c8 here.
Yeah, some bishop
Queen
c8,
c6,
queen d5.
queen d5, yeah.
You know what I would say? I would say is that don't do funny business in complex positions. This is always my motto. You know, if
Yeah.
you have a great position, try to avoid going for super complex lines because there's a chance you're going to mess it up. But again, this position already is pretty complex.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, Rosa miscalculated. He blundered a piece. And now, this is what was happening half an hour ago. I mean, he still has some chances. He's pretty active.
Some checkmate threat.
Indeed. And that's what was happening half an hour ago. By the way, I have the bar says it's equal. So whatever happened, even if he blundered, maybe he's still doing good.
So now, if queen d7, queen h6, there
There's some
could
rook
be
7th rank.
rook 7th rank or queen c7 attacking that rook. Queen
So
c7, rook
unclear.
c8. Yeah.
It's so unclear.
Bishop f3.
Yeah. I don't know how to evaluate this even. Maybe there's some perpetual. Maybe White can play for the win because of the exposed king.
Maybe.
Maybe there's bishop f4. Maybe there's no queen d7. The game is very complex, but again, you need to watch out also for black's queen e4 offer the queen trade and threaten to you checkmate.
Yes.
There's the move incoming.
Queen d7,
Queen d7.
queen
Oh,
h6.
we have a
Better view.
we have a moment here. I might try to capitalize on it because Irene's opponent is gone. No, don't come back. Don't do this.
He's just standing. We can still watch. So what I can tell you is that there is no rook on the last
I
rank. So
can't make it out what is happening.
rooks are traded, and there is a queen on. I would say queen on e7 check. King is on g7.
You
I
can
think-
see Eric is not very happy.
There was a check. So rooks are off the board. That's the 1 point. Rooks are no more at the board, and the queen was on somewhere on d7, giving a check. King was on g7, so I think his opponent's it was his opponent's time because he's thinking where to place the king because he was in check.
Okay, fine. I mean, okay, the camera zoom is very blurry because we have basically zoomed in all over the hall
Yeah.
to Eric to see what he's thinking about. I think what I'm going to do is unzoom it, and since we don't need this camera, we are going to use it a bit later.
Yes.
You see how far it goes. Actually, the camera is much, much, much further than this. So it's actually pretty amazing we could even understand what's happening.
Yeah.
All right,
So we could go to
Chopper's game.
yes.
That's a very
board
critical
number
game.
2.
Chopper's game and Pranav Anand against Samadov. That's the game I think we want to follow. All right. Where is it? Wait just a second. I can't find it.
Aryan Chopra against Ratan Well. It's our second board. Very important for the overall ranking of the last round, because as we know, we have how many top 8 prizes, right? Top 8 places with who get the prizes. So
Yeah, I think it.
makes
I could
sense.
show it again. I could show it again, right? So this is the top 10 of MTO's tournament starting rank. And Buxenji was the yellow favorite. He's right now the sole leader of the tournament. He stands with 8 points out of 10. Very good chances to take down the MTO. Super solid performance. Nguyen Drongson, not a successful tournament. He stands with 7 points out of 10. But still pretty good result for the Vietnamese Grandmaster, Aryan Chopra. I mean, it's actually amazing, right? The top 3 players who are seeded, they're also fighting for top 3 places, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kartikeyan did not arrive for reasons unknown. I don't know what are they. Daniil Yufa is having perhaps not the best tournament, and yeah, I think also several other grandmasters after him, with the exception of Liul, they're not doing great. And this is the prize fund.
Yeah, we have altogether 28,000 Swiss francs prize as a prize fund, and there are also other non-cash prizes. And we see that there are altogether prizes for top 8 players and top 4 women and top 3 veterans. So we have for the first place 6,000 Swiss francs, second place 4,500 Swiss francs, third place 3,500 Swiss francs. So the difference first and second place is really nice. So that's why, of course, Aryan Chopra would like to fight for the first place.
All right. Now we're back. It seems the rooks have been traded ever since we left it, and Chopra is trying to do something. I don't think he really is in any danger here, because he has the better pieces. The king is safe.
Yes, I see that on the live board, the pawn already advanced all the way to b5,
Can I maybe zoom in?
and the pawn from e4 is already on e3. So that's how the things are happening right now.
Slowly zoom in on the possession.
Yeah, so pawn is on e3, the other pawn is on b5, bishop on c4, queen on d4. This is the current position. Aryan Chopra is thinking. Wait a second. Because he's thinking because e3 was played with a check. And if you take queen e3, there is going to be queen takes c4. And after queen c4, if you take on c6, oh my god, you have to calculate all of this. Wait a second. So now it's a check for the king.
Okay, I don't know if I can zoom any closer.
Yeah, so if queen takes on e3 right now,
There's a lot of trades, yeah?
if queen takes on e3, queen takes on c4 bishop, pawn b5 takes on c5 bishop, queen takes on c6, or maybe doing some check in between, looks like an equal queen endgame. So
Yeah, but there's some other moves like king e2 as well you have to calculate.
king e2, there you have to check bishop takes g2.
Yeah,
Bishop
you're right.
takes g2, there is like bishop f1 almost checkmate threat. Actually, bishop to f1 is a threat to win the bishop because it's on c4.
There's also king g3 a move. Yeah, but he has 38 minutes on the clock to figure out, and there's no need to rush.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no need to rush. You are right.
If this tactics work, and if indeed what you're saying, Angelica, queen e3, b takes on c6, queen takes on c6, this is heading to a draw, which is a great result for the Chinese Grandmaster Buxenji, who's leading the tournament, because he's cheering right now for Ratavel. He's wishing him all the best. He would bring him coffee if he could.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, on a serious note, Also, I think that Chopra wouldn't really mind because it would allow him to finish in a very respectable second place because nobody else
Yes.
can catch him, right? Because there's many draws,
No one can catch him.
no one can
no.
catch.
I mean,
Yeah, they're very clearly ahead of everybody
yes,
else.
yes. Buksanji had before the start of the last round, 7.5 points, while Aryan Chopra 7 points, and other players have 6.5. So those were
Right.
top two. But yeah, again, Aryan Chopra is having some difficulties here. Where do you put the king? I mean, if king g3, you have to calculate queen e1. If king e2, bishop g2, it feels like a move. Otherwise, you have to take a pawn on e3, but it looks like an equal queen endgame.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, let's zoom out. There you see the players are in action. This is live feed. There's no delay. That's the live feeds. That's the position right now. Here, Chopra probably is choosing whether to continue or not. You know, Angelica, my proposition is we make another break. It's been a while since we have done this. There's no action, immediate action happening. There might be somebody coming for an interview. We would love to have them here. Maybe Buksanji, maybe somebody finishes from the top, or somebody.
And they are agreeing to a draw.
Oh,
So he took on e3, queen c4, and when he took on c6, draw was offered by Aryan Chopra. Rattanvel agreed, and we have the winner of the MTO tournament, Buksanji.
congratulations to all the Chinese fans and fans of Buksanji. A really impressive tournament. 8 points out of 10. Buksanji finishes the first place. A very nice victory for the Chinese Grandmaster, and also for Aryan Chopra. This also means second place, right?
Yes, it means that
We
he's...
could have him actually here with us if he would agree, because we did not have an interview with Aryan. We wanted to invite him at some point, but it was a bit unfortunate because it was conflicted with some other interviewer meeting, and that's why it did not happen.
And he also played very long games, so that's why... it was
That's
very
also an
hard.
issue, yeah. When you play very long, the chances you're going to get here in the studio are not great. So let's do it like this. Let's make it. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Aryan to get down. Maybe with the opponent, they could join. If they're going to join, I have no idea. I hope they're going to join. So let's make it 5 minutes, okay? Let's make it 5 minutes, and hopefully we're going to have an interview after that. We keep the right to extend the time. Hopefully not. But again, don't go anywhere. The tournament is still ongoing. The players most of them have reached the second time control. Although the winners are already known, we might still get some pretty good, nice insights from the analysis. See you very soon. And we are back. We are trying to hunt Aryan Chopra and his opponent for an interview, but it seems that he magically disappeared. He's gone. And with a win, I don't know. No matter, the tournament is almost very close to finish. Some of the final games are being played, but it's pretty clear who is winning the tournament, and that is the Chinese Grandmaster Buksanji. So once again, congratulations to him. Second place will go to Aryan Chopra. Third place, well, this is a bit complicated because there's several players with 7 points, perhaps, or 7.5. Was it 7?
7, yes.
You could name who are they.
So the problem is that actually there are 8 people with 7 points. So not all people with 7 points are going to be in the top 8. So first of all, Peng Xion-jan, who played a draw against Buksanjin, has 7 points. Ratan Vel has 7 points. Yan Liu, he had before that actually the best tiebreaker, and Robert Shlachtenko, we had him here in the for the short interview after his game. We have Nguyen, who won the game, and he has 7 points. Samadov with Riyadh, this wonderful game with against Pranav Anand with this H pawn, E pawn. We have Nico Chazin and Georg Seul. So we have many people with 8 people altogether with 7 points.
Tied for the third place, right? So we don't know who's going to have the better tiebreak. A good idea is to have a look at what happened after round 9. But then again, I mean, it can change drastically.
Anything can change. I mean, as I can say, Yan Liu was the one having the best tiebreaker in that group of 6.5 players. But anything can change, exactly. But yeah. We will know it only after the end of the end of the round. But the most important, that the leaders are known.
Exactly. So I think it's also a good idea for us to wrap up this 2-week commentary from Switzerland, Biel, Bien. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us, to follow us in these exciting 2 weeks where we had a lot of action from the GNT, MTO, HTO, ATO, Swiss Championships, amateur tournaments, a lot of side events, 14 tournaments in total. But at some point, we simply have to say goodbye, right? Sometimes we have to say goodbye to the internet. It came back. And that's why today, right now, we have to say goodbye for real, because we are finishing our coverage here from Switzerland. And in case you are interested how it feels here in Biel, you should come here next year and find it out yourself, because many people have done that this year for the first time. They're enjoying the atmosphere here. The weather is beautiful. The city is nice. The food is good. They're happy people. And having some of the best organizers. In case you missed what Angelika was saying, Angelika, can you please repeat?
Yes.
Because we got one more final goodbye from the internet. We came back, and now we want to say goodbye from ourselves.
Yeah, so one more time. Many people enjoyed here. Many people were here for the first time. So next year might be your first time here in Biel. Or if you participated a long time ago, maybe it's time to come back to Biel, because it's going to be July 12th till July 27th. 2024, 57th International Biel Chess Festival is looking forward to you.
Probably with the same A-team, Angelika, Arthurs. Hopefully we'll be also back next year to serve at your pleasure. We enjoyed the tournament really so much, but also we have to say goodbye. That's it from me. Again, have a great summer and see you in other events. We are saying goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.